So Asian wants me to react to this video he made called Asian Reacts to Mistick Raven's Review of SkinnyCheeks Mag DK build. This brings back memories, man. This brings back memories. It's a 46-minute movie. So I have no idea what's going on here. I'm gonna watch it for the first time and see what's up. These two go way back, so this is gonna be pretty interesting. Alright, Asian reacts to Mistick Raven's review of SkinnyCheeks Mag DK build.
What's up, guys? Asian here with
Asian's
what's
cat
essentially
girl.
going to be
What
a
the
react
fuck?
video today.
I actually watched the stream last night. He was playing Final Fantasy.
So this video was brought to my attention recently. It was streamed, I think, 2 days ago at this point. Let's see, 3 days ago actually. So kind of behind the ball here, but I just wanted to kind of put a reaction to this just because of the people involved in the video. So obviously,
Okay.
SkinnyCheeks is a well-known, well-liked endgame PvE theory crafter who's been putting out builds for quite some time. I have kind of interacted with him a lot in the Nefas's ESOU Discord, so I am familiar with sort of his builds,
I know, right?
his style, his video presentations, things like that. He's a great theory crafter. And this channel is Mistick's MMOs, also known as Mistick Ravens, or for those guys who in the far past might know him better as ESO Daily.
Oh boy.
So he was the one who sort of started the spat with God, I'm blanking on his name. Gilliam the Rogue.
Gilliam the
Rogue. When Gilliam,
this is years ago.
Joined ZeniMax, joined the ESO team. And if you guys recall, Nefas did a reaction on that, and I also did a reaction on.
Yeah, it was years ago.
Nefas or a reaction on his.
It was hilarious because
yeah, I haven't seen this video.
Guy was going on.
So this will kind of be a first time reaction
on Gilliam, and it was like, what the fuck is going on, dude?
Just knowing the video uploader, I kind of have an idea of what to anticipate here.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Mistick's MMOs. I'm your host, Mistick Raven. Okay, first off, let's do this, shall we? There's a lot of things I need to cover. So, nobody's posting out builds.
That is just a straight up lie. People are definitely putting up builds. They might not be builds that he likes, but I would be incredibly surprised.
People are still testing stuff. PTS is still bugged.
I think Skinny still plays, but I'd be incredibly surprised if they haven't put up builds yet for this new patch. I think it's Deadlands that just came out or something.
Don't worry,
like that.
I'm putting out builds soon.
So SkinnyCheeks seems to be leading the pack. He's got the Deadlands, Magic of DK, PvE guide. So this is the top DPS output. So this is his configuration.
Okay.
We're going to go a stat review.
What's a stat review?
Stat review over.
What's a stat review? It's just a review of stats.
We'll even
he's just looking at like the raw stats, like max magicka, spell damage, that kind of shit.
So.
Because the stats don't tell the whole story.
One Piece Slime Crawl, Kilt. Who taught them that, by the way? Anybody know? Anybody know who came up with that first? Hashtag timestamps matter.
I'm pretty sure it was us.
Never mind.
He's talking about harpooners, which I believe. Let me real quick double check on sets real fast.
I don't know if any single person even came out.
Harpooners came out.
A specific combination. It's just all comes down to theory crafting.
Might be
and math.
Actually, tell me when it came out. Okay, so it came out in Blackwood.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure Harpooners, when Blackwood was first released, was something that pretty much everybody in the PvE community was like, this is going to be the next big mythic.
Yeah.
I'm blanking on what the first mythic was. It was some sort of ring. But everyone was like, oh yeah, Harpooners definitely going to be something you're going to be wanting to wear on PvE. This was way back in the PTS of Blackwood. I remember the whole Blackwood PTS. People were testing out harpooners. It was really, really good. And this was the mythic item where you had to like farm for those water nodes. So it was a big uproar about people just sitting there and farming these water nodes in the Blackwood. I'm blanking on the zone name, but everybody was like sitting there in that one zone farming for the
Shadowfen. Anyone remember Shadowfen in chat?
So if he's trying to imply that he was the one who thought of this, no, he's completely wrong. Nefas and all the other top-end PvE theory crafters have already had their eyes on harpooners pretty much right from day one of the Blackwood BTS.
Yeah.
I
made a list.
Kilt.
Took you 42 hours.
I think Base's very
Base's and Sororia.
Okay.
Say it, homies, say what? I'll go over that. I'll go over that in a second. Because that, to me, about made me spit my fucking drink out.
Did you ever see that Mistick video where someone linked the Liko build and comments he thought it was talking to Liko?
What
Sororia Inferno staff.
See what his rationale is.
And then he
I didn't
has
see that.
the Maelstrom Inferno staff. You can use the daggers if you want.
Okay.
And I've linked the description below.
Okay.
Right there, Maelstrom, Inferno staff.
So, okay.
I
What the fuck is going on, dude?
What's wrong with that? Inferno's always been the back bar.
Let's go help people customize and save with Liberty Mutual.
Oh, that's right. I'm
Okay,
What?
I forgot.
Does this t-shirt come with a men's tampon
I
pocket
didn't
too?
want his.
What?
to be-
Here's the setup.
Okay, we had ads.
Now he said, "Oh,
we were watching ads in Asian's
there's
video.
no such thing as a diminishing return in this game." No, there's not.
Yes. For those of you guys who aren't aware, this is the guy who is insistent on diminishing returns being a thing and indifferent curves and all sorts of weird bullshit stuff. Technically speaking, diminishing returns aren't really a thing in this game. I mean, the idea behind diminishing returns is not the same idea that he's sort of espousing here. Basically, if you guys are aware, as you start to stack more of one stat, the increase that you're getting is going to end up being less in terms of the relative DPS increase. So if you're starting at 1,000 spell damage, for example, and something adds 500, that's obviously a 50% increase. But if you're starting at 2,000, that same 500 only gives you a 25% increase. So the relative increase is going to be smaller. That is, so you can kind of argue that as being diminishing returns to a certain extent. And I have no idea what he means by indifference curves if he brings it up in this video at all.
There's not. Who in the fuck lets these people fucking just... Here's the setup. Flame damage precise.
Okay.
The reason staff's kind of good, in certain fights, you don't have melee range. So Infernos are good.
Yeah, that's true.
Daggers, I agree with them. Daggers is a good option. So I agree with that.
Okay.
So I agree. You know, Sorcerer is a good set. You know. I also like his call on the infused with the weapon damage enchantment.
That's pretty standard.
That's been there for a while.
Fucking.
Slime crawl kilts. Well, you know.
Yep. Pretty good.
Some genius thought of that and hit up the curve ahead of time. I don't know.
It was
brilliant individual.
It was
people. All the PvE theory crafters on day one of PTS when they released the patch notes. He's trying to say he made it up. He did not.
Then Bases. Now, what's the problem here? And does anybody want to see the problem?
What's the problem?
I got perfected on, by the way.
Bases is a set that I'm not familiar with because that was after my time.
After my time, it's like he's fucking talking from the fucking dead here. Yeah, it was after my time.
Spell damage, 3-piece minus Slayer. It's a trial set, of course. Crit chance, 5-piece increase. Damage done to non-player enemies by up to 15%, depending on your... Oh, okay. I am familiar with this one. This is the one where it's you do more damage based. Your damage done modifier increases based on missing magicka. So the idea here is you kind of want to make sure your magicka is down below a certain percentage.
I believe below 50% and up to like
amount out.
15-20%.
I believe it is a linear increase. So if you're sitting at like 50% magicka, you get a 7.5% damage done bonus.
Not that everybody.
It was a pretty good set,
but I did put the perfected on intentionally just to give the
I think
stats
the perfected
the boost.
adds an additional spell damage.
Does anybody see a problem?
Let me guess. Let me guess. The problem is gonna be the Minor Slayer. or stacking Minor Slayer, because Sorority has a Minor Slayer stat line and Bosse has a Minor Slayer stat line. I think that's what he's gonna talk about.
This combo, I don't know. Does anybody see it? Does anybody see?
He's just like, I don't see a fucking problem.
I don't see a problem at all with this.
With this combo, this setup.
So I am not playing ESO, and I have no intention of going back, but I'm aware enough of sort of the meta shifts. If you guys recall, I was on Nefas's stream kind of reviewing the day one patch notes for
Blackwood.
the latest DLC, where they basically
Was it
capped
Blackwood
out
or
crit
Waking
damage,
Flame?
and I sort
I
of
think it was
gave my
Waking Flame.
opinion on where I think the
No,
meta
not
would be
Waking Flame.
shifting. My thoughts initially were they're probably going to shift towards crit chance as well as spell damage.
Yeah, Waking Flame, never mind, I'm a fucking idiot.
Just because those are probably going to be the two next strongest bonuses to your damage. Crit chance, obviously, because of crit modifier being the strongest mod, and then spell damage because it's relatively easy to stack spell damage, at least compared to like Max Magicka on a Magicka DPS. Stamina would pretty much be the same thing. Crit chance and weapon damage is a lot easier to stack weapon damage and Max Stam on DPS in general. So that's sort of the direction I thought the meta was going to shift. So Sororia is that magic spell damage buff, and then Bosses gets you that additional additional damage done modifier.
Yes.
I don't know whether or not they took out a lot of damage done modifiers, or if I don't think they changed the damage calculations. But damage done modifiers are also pretty strong, especially with something as big of a value as Bosses. If you're able to consistently get your Magicka down below the 50 to 30% range, that's pretty good, because it's a linear increase. So you're taking a look at least 8% damage done modifier if you're able to sit consistently below 50% Magicka.
Anybody? I don't know. Anybody? Let me check the comments. Anybody? What's up, Ross?
The comments.
I see you mentioned SkinnyCheeks. What I miss? Oh, we're doing a stat review, Dave. We're doing a stat review.
His chat's going
of his build right here. Bosses and Sororia.
I see he still hasn't activated Windows yet.
Does we're going to
Oh, true. He hasn't activated Windows.
He still hasn't activated Windows.
Does anybody see a problem? Anybody? I don't know. Here's Bosses.
He's gonna talk about Minor Slayer. He's gonna talk about Minor Slayer.
But I mean, anybody see some conflict? It's just
he's gonna talk about Minor Slayer.
There's something just there that makes no sense. Does anybody see it?
I think I know what he's gonna. I think I know what he's gonna.
I think Asian knows.
I think
that
he's
I know.
trying to talk about the fact that it's 2 trial sets and you're stacking up Minor Slayer.
Yes.
Minor Slayer doesn't stack.
Yes.
Buff, so you're not able to double dip into it.
Asian and I are the
There
same
have been precedent where
wavelength, dude.
We have stacked 2 trial sets before. Stamina DPS back in the day when they were halfway decent. You would wear Reliquins and Lakestes.
Yes!
Trial sets, obviously, you're double dipping into the Minor Slayer, so you're only getting the benefit.
I'm just like...
But the idea behind wearing 2 trial sets is that the 5-piece of 1 is stronger than the 3-piece of the standard 3-piece. So your standard 3-piece
we're actually the same person.
1096 max stats, 129 spell weapon damage, or so in that instance you're still coming out ahead, even though your 3-piece on one of your sets isn't really basically is non-existent.
Well, you can
that's sort of the premise
sets.
Behind wearing 2 trial sets. So in the example I gave earlier of Reliquin and Lakestes, the idea behind it was that Reliquin, this was back when Reliquin was super busted. You had 20 stacks and you can easily get like 6k per ticks with max stacks. So obviously that was really busted. And then you had Lakestes, which was the Major Slayer back when Major Slayer was 15%, which was also really busted because you could get full uptime on Major Slayer with Lakestes. Both of those 5-piece bonuses were strong enough to offset the 3-piece standard bonus. So that was why you could use 2 trial sets, because no other set would be able to provide you that additional bonus. So basically there was no other alternative to Lakestes or Reliquin where the 5-piece and a standard armor bonus would outweigh the 5-piece of either of those sets. So something like Briarheart, for example, the weapon damage from the 5-piece along with the standard 3-piece bonus, that would not outweigh the Major Slayer uptime or the Reliquin 5-piece bonus. So that was kind of the rationale behind doing 2 trial sets. So that is actually not an issue at all, depending on how the math works out. So I haven't touched on the math obviously in ESO for a while. Sororia I know is nerfed. Bosses I'm not sure. I haven't really played around with it, but I'd imagine the value, the 15% damage done value hasn't changed, at least on ESO sets. It doesn't look like it's changed. So think of the damage done 15%. That's pretty much a Major Slayer bonus, old Major Slayer bonus. Obviously, it's scaling based on missing Magicka, but at the very least, you can get like 8% probably.
Yeah, he's just
maybe a little bit more than that.
He's just making a video.
Pretty big, 8% damage done.
He's making a video about
basically an additional minor Berserk.
It's pretty funny.
Stacking.
He plays Final Fantasy now.
I don't know if Berserk has changed at all, but Berserk used to be 8% additional damage done.
The first ESO video he's made, he's talking about Mistick
that doesn't
and SkinnyCheeks.
That stacks with major Berserk, minor Berserk.
Pretty
funny. So like that alone is huge. So I can see the math working out where the 5-piece would outweigh another set's 5-piece and a 3-piece standard armor bonus.
Okay.
Anybody.
He's gonna talk about Minor Slayer.
Anybody.
He's gonna talk about Minor Slayer. I called it. Asian called it.
I don't know. I don't know. Something's missing here. Oh, that's right. 2 Minor Slayers.
I fucking knew it.
Yep, that's what I thought he was gonna say. And I just gave the rationale for why you might want to do 2 trial sets.
Okay.
Again, Bosses is essentially just an additional minor Berserk that can stack on top of it.
It's divine. Everything's max magic.
So math-wise, I'd imagine it would be work out in the fact that Bosses 5-piece, Orsa Warriors 5-piece plus
not 2, all 3 bloodthirsties.
Yeah.
What's wrong with 3 bloodthirsty?
All 3 are bloodthirsty because 90% of the time we don't want that extra spell damage. No. We want it at the last 10% of the fight. That's where it matters the most.
I'm not sure what he means by 10% of the fight.
What the fuck do you mean 10% of the fight?
Bloodthirsty here. They changed it back quite a while ago. So the change
10% of the fight.
Quit. But it increases
is it 90% of the fight?
Damage against enemies under 90% health by up to 350. Again, it's a linear scale, so when they're at 45% health, you get half of that value. So 175, I believe it is.
I don't know what the fuck is going on right now, dude.
Bloodthirsty is still a very, very strong trait. The change to Bloodthirsty made it closer to infused in terms of strength.
But Bloodthirsty still pulls ahead,
I think, unless things have changed since then. But I think I did the math back in the day when they first decided to change it, and it ended up being, it closed the gap a little bit, but Bloodthirsty is still by and far the best, and stacking 3 Bloodthirsty is fine. I'm not sure what he means by the 10%, because the only time Bloodthirsty is not great is if things are dying really quickly, because then you're not getting as much uptime on the larger increase on your damage bonus.
Right. It's where it matters the most.
I'm not sure what he's talking about here.
I have no idea either.
Yeah. Yeah, but now, Bloodthirsty is still the best jewelry trade in ESL by far.
Back bar.
Or not by far, but it's definitely the best jewelry trade you can use for PvE.
For this was a good call.
Okay.
I don't know why he's saying it's a good call. This back bar has been always been the case for
since 2017.
Case.
Why do I use the
not always
staff?
Magic is used to front bar. Magic is used to front bar wall. Actually, like around 2017, 2016, we didn't actually. It's complicated because at the time staves did not count as 2 pieces. It counted as 1 piece of a set. So there were reasons as to why we front bar mouse from staff at times. That makes sense.
Oh no! Oh no!
I don't know.
What's so?
I mean,
what happened?
We wouldn't want the extra damage on AoEs, would we? No.
So here's a very, very common misconception among newer players for the Lightning Staff and Fire Staff bonus. So under the Destruction Staff line, there are bonuses depending on which staff you're holding. So with your Fire Staff, you get additional damage bonus. With the Lightning Staff, you get additional AoE damage bonus. The problem is, unlike games like Final Fantasy 14, where you snapshot the ability, so whatever bonuses you get when you lay down a dot, that's what you get those bonuses for the entirety of the dot. So for example, let's say I'm playing a warrior and I'm using and I have the buffs. No, warrior's a bad example. Trying to think of a class that has a dot. Let's just go with the bard. Let's say you're playing a bard.
Oh, he's talking about Final Fantasy. I have no idea what the Final Fantasy reference is. Oh wait, no. Here's a good one. Gunbreaker. Gunbreaker has a dot. Has 2 dots actually. Gunbreaker also has a buff ability that increases the damage that you deal with all damage. If you do your dot without that damage buff, you basically snapshot the damage your dot's doing. On the bar you're on.
Your dot will always do that same amount of damage, even if you buff while the dot is up. Basically, it doesn't dynamically change.
Oh, okay, okay,
ESO is
okay.
different in that a lot of skills do dynamically change. So if you have a lightning staff on your back bar, while you're on your back bar, you will get that additional AoE bonus. But on your front bar, if you have an Inferno staff, which you should as a Magicka DPS, or if you're wearing daggers, you won't get that AoE damage bonus because it's dynamically changing. So his idea that running a lightning staff back bar will boost the damage of the AoE on his back bar is correct, but only while you're on your back bar.
Correct.
Now, most DPS, or I should say all DPS, will be spending at least 70 to 75% of your time on your front bar.
On the front bar, yes.
And that lines up with ESO logs. If you take a look at ESO logs, and take a look at how much time is spent on front bar versus back bar, usually you're going to be sitting at around 70, 80 tops.
It's like
percent
north of 80
uptime on your
like
front bar. So you're talking about 20 to 30% uptime on the additional
gun thing with a sword attached. That sounds pretty cool, actually. It's a bayonet.
That's not worth justifying using the lightning staff on the back bar in exchange for
Jesus, 40 minutes?
The additional damage you would get from the Inferno staff on your back bar. Because the Inferno staff buff also buffs your light attacks. Light attack weaving is still very important for DPS. So you would need that additional light attack damage on your back bar.
It's nice to hear Agent again, though.
Plus, I think Unstable Wall of Fire is still better than Unstable Wall of Lightning in terms of damage. Especially on a Mag DK, because you do want the additional burning procs for Mag DK, which you can't get, obviously, with Lightning Blockade.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck! No, we want that combustion passive. The DK isn't going to keep it up 100% of the time, anyways. Given the fact that what?
Excuse me.
How often does combustion do? Every 0.5 seconds? We got to have a flame.
Excuse me. Mag DK is not getting 100% uptime on combustion. That is a sign of a bad Mag DK. A Mag DK, back when I played, you could very easily get.
What are they talking about, dude?
Between all of your dots going.
What are we talking about here at this point?
Eruption, Unstable Wall of Fire, obviously your flame damage enchants.
Yeah, we were reacting to a reaction to. I don't know, dude.
Burning. A Mag DK that didn't have 100% burning up.
I got my Mag DK already.
Was probably dead for part of that fight. If you're alive for the entire fight, you could easily get 100% burning up time, and you could easily get a burning proc. Maybe not every half a second, but you could very easily get one every 1 to 2 seconds.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, dude.
So like that's like combustion is.
Why are we talking about combustion?
Pretty big here, in terms of like maintaining your burning up time. If you drop your fire staff back bar for a lightning staff back bar, chances are you're also going to be dropping your burning up time down maybe from like 95 to maybe like 80-ish%. And while 15% drop might not seem like a huge amount, when taking combustion as well as the secondary effect of Wall of Fire,
I don't understand why we went from that to combustion.
In endgame PvE, those those small things that add up, they do make a difference. So he's just completely wrong at this point.
Because.
And this is only like 7 minutes in, so we're only like a third of the way through. I bet you half of this is probably him ranting, so we'll probably just skip through that part. As entertaining as it might be.
Standard of might, if it's your bread and butter, if it's your preference, sure.
What?
What?
Preference.
What? Standard of might is Standard of Might is absolutely necessary because of that additional bonus.
It's good. It's good.
Well, you're in the standard. I mean, it's not going to be great for every fight because obviously they're mobile bosses, but like standard, that additional damage done while you're standing in it, that's huge.
We'll get the max Magicka scale.
That's huge.
The 10-to-1 is irrelevant.
10-to-1? What the fuck is
irrelevant, right?
What's 10-to-1?
You guys know that. There's a 10-to-1 conversion on max stats.
10.5, but close enough.
Versus spell damage.
Okay. Around there, yeah.
We all know that. I mean,
whatever.
We're sitting at 34,000, almost 35.
35,000. Okay.
That's pretty impressive.
But it's not insignificant. Inner light is like it's 8% when you take into consideration major skill passives, but 8% additional max Magicka is
Let's also not forget about Undaunted
in terms of effective spell damage.
Don't know if people know that. I do.
What was he whispering?
I'm pretty sure the 10.5 to 1 is fairly
pretty much
well
this layout's pretty good.
Okay,
Whip's really good. He's not going to get the outbalance. He talks about that. I recommend watching the video. You know.
Offbound should still be
whatever.
supports, I think, unless
Now,
something's changed.
We're gonna see what everything
usually
stacks up
offbound
to.
is support responsibility,
Right?
not mag
Okay,
decay.
so his
you shouldn't be
beginning
providing your own
stat sheets look
offbounds,
like this.
basically.
There's something for this? It's fucking hilarious.
We're definitely gonna get higher
I'll show you something. I'll show you something.
with the kilt, and given the fact that we're using the Thief Mundus, that's gonna amp our percentage up, quite a nice bit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
You
that
should be able to sustain
already
problems.
is with
Here's
the thief,
the only
though.
problem I have, right? There's one major problem
What's the problem?
with this build.
What's
Phil,
what's
you
the
know,
problem with
you're
SkinnyCheeks
going to
build?
be dependent on spell pod. I think he goes over that, but you're going
What?
to be dependent
I
on it.
mean,
What?
Yes.
What do you mean? What the fuck is going on? What the fuck is going on, dude? What?
With this build, too, you're going to be dependent on spell pod. I think he goes over that, but you're going to be dependent
I
on it.
mean,
What
yes.
the fuck is
Using
going on?
bosses, well,
yes,
that's a problem.
yes. I mean, PvE, you always use spell power potions. I guess this guy is super. He doesn't do endgame PvE. At least when he does, it fails spectacularly.
Yo, what the fuck? Fucking
Yeah,
Asian.
endgame PvE, you're always using spell power potions because that's how you maintain
Bro.
major sorcery and major prophecy. So I don't know why the reliance on pots is such a bad
Because
thing.
you're
You
drinking
do it
pots.
anyways as a PvE player.
But we'll go over the stat sheet review.
Okay, the
See
stat sheet review.
What is Burning Embers is going to be procking up at.
What?
And
I don't know
it's
what he means
engulfing
by
flames
procking
What is
instead of
that?
his dots. Because, I'll be going over my build and we'll do a comparison in the dot range. in the
I'm
stat
excited.
sheet.
See the comparison.
He seems obsessed.
I'm
with
sure the
stats.
man's great. Because this is the meta. Am I right?
Okay.
Whatever he says is meta.
Hold on, wait a second.
wrong?
I just
Am I
realized
wrong?
he has DPS meters down here. I'm not sure if you guys can see. It might be a little bit blurry.
It's 30,000, 40,000
Those are too short
DPS
to really make a
range.
judgment call. There's two that are long enough to really make a judgment call. 5 minutes, 17 seconds. This is on the trial dummy, so you have all the raid buffs.
31.3k, 5 minutes, 17 seconds.
31.3k DPS. 5 minutes, 17 seconds.
That's
The other one was 44.6k DPS
2 minutes, so
on
that's
2
whatever.
minutes, 28 seconds. Those are really low, considering PvE numbers. Even back when I quit, like that is abysmal. That is like abysmal.
Why is
low
he just-
if you take a look at endgame PvE
Well,
numbers,
I'm actually
The man
curious.
knows math,
comparing
right?
those numbers.
Am I
Asians is
wrong?
fucking
No, no, here come ads.
ripping-
Let's get these when
Where are you practicing today, Daddy?
Look at Asian doesn't have ad block, dude.
Out there.
Okay,
This
that's
is
pretty random,
meta!
but sure.
This is meta, okay.
God dang it. Okay, so I'm going to drink it and dump immediately.
Okay. You didn't dump it. Oh, well, okay.
Oh, that's so painful.
Now I just want to get that Sorcerer proc. And then we're going
What?
to see the scale.
I don't think you. I think you like.
And
You didn't even
our
get the
crit
full stacks.
width has been up to 61.5. I think we can get a little bit more out of it. So
Yes. There's no...
Let me see how bosses work. Cause I obviously haven't played. Not bosses. Harpooners.
67. And
I'm not being mean. I'm just like saying he hasn't
We
reached
got
the
a
full stacks
67
of either
spell.
sorority or
That's pretty good.
harpooners. So if he wants to compare to the spreadsheet, or his not stat sheet, then he needs to do it.
So dealing
Now we should be
direct
out of max
damage.
stat. So our max crit's going to be 63 with this build. With the 67, it looks like a 67.
The big issue I'm
Sounds
seeing
like-
here is the fact
Spell.
that
Sounds like the Weatherman. It's gonna be about 61 degrees, with clear overhead.
He's not he's not light weaving, so he's missing out a bunch of quick stacks of Hunter's Focus. That shouldn't make it be a big deal, but
65.
it will make a difference
About 65,
in
67.
PvE content where you want to
Max
get it
with
as
the max
quickly as you can.
63.
What? I don't understand what's going on. I'm just lost.
Because light
38,000
attacks count as
max
direct
magic.
damage. I mean, yes, his spam
No.
will also counts as direct damage,
That's
but
interesting.
you
Now,
still kind of
we're
want to
gonna
make sure
see
to get that light weaving going.
He started at 88%.
How that's
by the
going
way.
to affect his skill.
Well, I don't think he's done
Burning
quite so.
Embers has gotten up to 26.5. Flames is 20.
Okay, he's looking at his
That's pretty
tooltips
impressive. 26
of each skill.
and 20, roughly. That's pretty good. Even, whatever. Now, a lot of times you're not going to use Kilt, who go over that death feat. I think he's done a really good job there.
Match Shadowman's builds. It's pretty good.
If you weren't using Boss A's, you would get a lot more. Just for the simple fact that you could take out the inner light. So I'm just going to mention that right from the rip. But
wait, what?
The Camo Hunter instead.
What?
Why would you select Camo Hunter?
Why would you select Camo Hunter?
But
unless there's a passive change that happened
and the whips are hitting really
patch.
nice in this build. So
you get minor berserk on the dummy.
And the fact that the combustion,
skills.
is every 5, it does give you a nice range. But when you hit that pot for that spell power, it boosts up significantly.
Oh, he's talking about the weapon and spell damage passive. He's not talking about the minor berserk.
He's adapted well, in my opinion.
No, it's probably for the minor berserk after you deal crit damage from the enemy's flank.
He's adapted well to the flawless.
You don't really need that.
He's adapted well to the barb trap, because I said Medusa's isn't going to be utilized anymore. Why?
See if there's anything in
You're
like
gonna
the
get
fighter
more.
skills passive.
Medusa's is out the fucking
Oh,
door.
okay. So you get the 3% additional spell damage.
Garbage. El Nito. Done. Right? It's done.
Generally speaking, I think the additional max magicka from Inner Light. I think you also get something else from check the Mage's Guild tree.
It's
passives.
Prophecy and
Yeah, because you get
max
Inner Light,
magicka,
which gives you the 5% from
it's,
there.
that's whatever. You just want the max
Then your
magicka.
passives get you an additional 2%, so that would give you, and the magicka regen, so that would give you an additional 7%.
Oh,
max
plus
magic
regen. I
with
forgot about
3%
that.
spell
With the
damage.
passive.
It would really depend on the stats. But I think generally speaking, you're going to want a little bit more max magicka than spell damage. The 3%, it should end up being about equal, I think, but I don't know what the end game
My only
values
problem with this,
look
like, if people
for
don't have
max magicka and
perfected,
spell damage.
they're going to be having a double stat on the Slayer. Therein lies the problem.
Again, we already touched upon why the double minus slayer doesn't
Because
make a difference.
when you're
and
on
the
this
perfected
far, you have
doesn't really matter
a
either, because
stat
the only thing
that's-
the perfected adds is the additional stat line, which is great. But ultimately, the additional stat line doesn't actually add too much in terms of that. The unique 5-piece
Weighs about
outweighs the minor slayer.
I give it up to the fact that the man also knows about the 2 medium.
Okay.
And that, he did make the recommendation or whatever. And the daggers to the staff.
I don't understand what the problem is then. Just the minor slayer?
As far as statting and whatever, and how he talks about range.
And the spell power pots?
He didn't change the
puts
enchant on
good
that. It should be max
clarification
mag.
there. But this is the meta. This was the stats. This was a stat review. Now, 3 bloodthirsties, I don't do it. But let's go over my stats.
Infused?
He's using Burning Spellweave. Why would he use Burning Spellweave?
I
Wait,
use
what?
1 bloodthirsty. Why?
Where is it?
I want that extra
What the
fucking
fuck is going on?
90% of the time.
Oh, this is his build. This is his build.
Here's
Okay.
going to be an issue that I don't think he actually knows about. Conditional stat increases in ESO are not reflected on your character's information sheet. So Bloodthirsty is not reflected. Zeroria is because it is just a direct increase, but it's not conditional. Basically, you have a stack of something, it's a buff, so it would
I think.
directly increase your
Okay, let me
stats.
explain something.
Bloodthirsty.
I don't think he's trolling. Well, actually, okay. I think he's acting. I think he's fucking acting. Personally,
Does not.
I think so.
Anything that has a conditional
I think-
rider
I
on
think
it
to a degree.
usually doesn't reflect on the character's
degree.
stat sheet. So something like Spell Strategist, for example. Back when I used to play, Spell Strategist was a thing. It might still be a thing, I don't know. But the Spell Strategist was when you hit something with a light attack, you marked it, and when you attack the marked enemy, you get additional 500 spell damage or something like that. It was pretty strong for single target. But the 500 spell damage was not reflected on your character's spell sheet because it had a rider that was not a direct buff on you. So Bloodthirsty is not a direct buff on you. It is just a passive trait, so it won't actually be reflected on your
He
stats.
just explained that the character she doesn't
So I
reflect.
anticipate
certain
that he's going to
changes
be
your
like, oh
stats
look, I'm
anyway.
wearing 2 infused and my spell damage is higher. But he's completely disregarding the fact that Bloodthirsty is not reflected on
Let's see if Asian's right about his
neither is
prediction
damage
here.
done or damage.
Wait, what?
Now,
Sorrow.
I could set this up for the kilt, but I don't even need the fucking kilt.
What?
I could. I very well could.
I mean,
Because that's what I've said.
If you're not using the kilt, then you're going to be using monster set
I'm the one
instead.
who introduced everybody to that.
So what would the monster set be in this
Tactics
case?
matter.
Zon?
I don't get why he thinks he's the first for everything. We've already,
Nah.
or I shouldn't say we, I'm not part of them anymore, but the endgame PvE crafting community probably has
One
figured
thing I'm
stuff
gonna
out
point
like
out here, and I've said
day
this in
1
my
of
build
PTS or day 2 of PTS.
Unless
I
they're
think
very,
a little
very
longer
has-
than that this time
There's
around.
enough of
The
people out there
behemoths
to testing
want
stuff
it.
on the PTS
But
on the
let's
day
say
of
the tank
release
has it.
that you
What did I
probably
say the
know
options
pretty
were?
much everything by the time like the second or third day
Dumbass. Now, I think he
of
does
release.
go over that. And
This
then
time around was like
a
second
definite
or third week, dude.
dumbass. Right.
Domi's not great.
Now,
Dami.
I'm
Domi
taking Slime
is
Crow out,
not fantastic.
right?
And Kratos.
And we'll
What's going
put
on?
what? Infused max health.
He's gonna use.
There's a diminishing return. There's math
Why would you?
involved.
Why would you do that?
It's called-
You're basically wimping
Yo, what the
yourself
fuck
there by adding an additional max health. You don't need to max health. Your goal as DPS is to do as much damage as you possibly can, and anything.
What the fuck is going on, dude? How
Well,
do I
counter
know?
to that is
What the
just
fuck is going
reducing
on,
your
dude? I don't
overall
even know.
effectiveness.
I just don't know anymore.
Health is important, but the way that ESO damage works, a lot of it is it's a dot that's going to kill you because it ticks too hard, or the initial damage is going to kill you because it hits for 20k and you only have
I don't
like
know.
17k health, 18k health, or something like that. So adding the additional max
Called
health,
math.
especially an infused
If you
max
would
health,
called
ignore
math.
the
just-
law of
that's
diminishing
just
marginal
wrong.
return, it bites you.
What the fuck did you just say? Hold on.
Ignore
just-
the law of
that's
diminishing
just
marginal return.
wrong.
Diminishing marginal returns. Sorry, I misspelled diminishing. Marginal returns. The fuck is that? What the fuck is this shit? An effect of increasing input after an optimal capacity has been reached, leading to smaller increases in output. Increasing input after. This is not an ESO. This is what?
It bites you in the ass. Every fucking
What the
time.
fuck is going on, dude?
Also, I'm not sure what he means by the law of diminishing returns. This is not addressing diminishing returns, like using a health versus max magicka. Because
I've
you're
never
not
heard of
getting
that
any
shit,
sort of
dude.
direct benefit to
For
DPS
ESO,
by
I've never seen
introducing
that
your
shit.
max health, especially if it's an infused max health. If it was divines, I could argue, okay, that's a little bit okay because you're still getting the additional bonus to your Mundus Stone, but infused only affects that max health enchant. And you don't really need max health. You have enough health
It's
in ESO
infused
to
as
really
well.
survive any mechanic.
Let's just skip
This
over
change
that.
that he's-
I'll need your Mystic a little bit more.
So
I know what
because
Asian's rationale is going to be. I just don't know.
I'm
What...
going to be
Why
using
is he-
the daggers
Okay, he's going to use daggers instead of
and the
staff.
lightning staff.
And the lightning staff.
More gimping.
Spell power cure.
We already talked about
Now,
lightning staff.
I
Daggers
would
in the front
never
bar
get
is fine.
caught, even as a DK, with a flame staff.
What?
All of my AoEs always
You're not getting
get
the buff.
laid on a lightning staff.
You're not getting the
I
buff.
don't give a fuck.
We already
I
discussed
don't
this. He's not
give
getting the
a
buff.
flying fuck who you think you are. You ignoring math?
What?
You ignoring math?
That's not ignoring
You,
math. That's
you
just
replace
ignoring
his lightning
how
staff his AoEs do more
the game operates. The
Right?
fact that AoEs
Wow.
that
Well,
AoE
let's take a
dots
look at that
dynamically
one just
update.
by
They
itself.
don't snapshot
Right?
like in Final Fantasy or other.
He's using
MMOs.
eruption on this bar.
Okay.
Lightning staff, 608. He's going to use mystical orbs on this bar, 1816. Those two, even Scalding Ruin, right?
Okay.
I believe, yeah, AoE, 87. Let's put that fucking piece of shit flame staff back on.
He also has to realize that he has to make sure he's
Down.
putting on a burning
Down.
sleeve.
Down.
He doesn't realize this is just his misunderstanding of how the game operates. Those numbers are not accurate with the lightning staff because the dots are going to dynamically change. You can test it out
Yeah,
yourself on
yeah. You're
on
gonna
ESO.
swap to your
Put
front
down
bars,
a lightning
it's like-
staff, have a fire staff front bar, lay down your wall of lightning or any sort of other AoE dot you want, and then switch to your front bar.
Yeah,
If
man.
you have your damage numbers active, you'll see that your damage does dynamically change. It's
Yeah.
higher when you're in your lightning staff, but it'll be lower on your front bar, even though you did lay it down with the lightning staff. This is just a fundamental fundamental
misunderstanding
of how the game mechanics work.
Down,
and that's
down,
not
down,
something
down to justify a wall for a
Okay.
combustion passive.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
fuck
he
you,
has no
Skinny.
idea what he's talking about when he's
Fucking
talking
Skinny
about
has no idea what he's talking
Damaging
He has
about.
no idea how the game mechanics actually
stupidity.
work.
You're going to nerf your AoEs to stupidity.
God damn.
No,
That's what
See,
it is.
You're not
this,
nerfing
this is why I don't watch
In any
SkinnyCheeks
case,
videos
your
anymore.
AoEs, generally
Is it
speaking,
or
are
is
going to
it
be
not?
contributing a huge amount of DPS comparatively
or is it
to
not?
your
Yes.
spammable and your light attacks.
Yeah, dude, Skinny has
So
no idea
it's
what the
okay.
fuck is
Your
wrong, man.
AoEs
How dare he
generally will
nerf his
be,
fucking AoEs?
Even
I
with
guess on a
this
Magna
build,
K
you know,
it'll
it's-
contribute more
it's
DPS,
impressive.
but generally speaking,
Not
your
gonna
AoEs are
brag
going to
on
be less than
everything
50%
about
of your
But
DPS.
that's
Usually it's going to
stupidity.
be hovering around a third of your DPS.
Okay. Now,
Okay.
I'm not using boss A's.
What's he looking legit?
set can suck my dick.
Yo, I'm not gonna use boss A's. That's I can suck my dick. Why? What the fuck? Okay, I want to hear the rationale for this one.
Okay.
Since I don't need it,
I mean, you don't have to use it. The
Fuck, I'm
beauty
taking
of
extra
ESO is that
fucking
it's
spell
horizontal
damage.
progression rather than
Y'all
vertical like
kiss
in other
my
MMOs, so you
motherfucking
don't
ass.
have to use boss A's. If
Yeah.
you have it, I would recommend using it because it's very clearly a very
and
strong
I'm going to
set
take
for
the
magic DPS.
least,
But
the goddamn least effective ability,
What?
because what's this going
What?
to do?
No.
what would
It's
you
gonna
take?
amp my shit up.
What?
Oh,
Now
he's
let's
doing
take a
the
look at my
stupid Maelstrom
stat sheet.
shit.
Already, I got him beat in the crit department without
What
even a kill.
the fuck is going on?
Right?
What the fuck is going on, dude? What the
There
fuck
are
is
so
going
many
on?
things wrong with this build.
71. I don't even have a kill. 7,700 spell
Oh
damage.
shit, dude! I don't know
Not
what the fuck is
six-
going on
not-
anymore.
So yes, his
We went from like here to
is
here.
higher, but his effective spell damage is going to end up being lower. Partially because he has lower max magicka, but also because he doesn't have Bloodthirsty. And Bloodthirsty is
Man,
not
I don't even
reflected
know what to say, dude.
on this sheet at all. So that like whatever value P was harping on about earlier, that doesn't take into consideration
Okay.
Bloodthirsty, because that is affected anyway. So
7,700.
What?
71 crit.
Okay.
oh, more ads. No, you didn't.
Did I just kept the rotation except swapped out one ability?
You didn't.
Stat wise, did I just beat him?
No, you didn't.
Did I?
You did not.
Did I beat his stats?
What the fuck? Where's
Apparently
what's
his
getting
dog is
stats
also
actually?
banging him too.
You guys listen to dumbass shit.
Pulls up his chat.
So he is hung up on stats. He doesn't realize that again, the conditional Bloodthirsty is not reflected in your stat sheet.
Okay.
So Skinny's build will continue to get stronger. You'll have higher spell damage towards the end here. Skinny's build also has higher max magicka, which converts directly to your effective spell damage, which is not reflected in the stat sheet. That's something you have to actually calculate out yourself.
I don't know what's
His
going
damage
on,
done
dude.
modifier is lower.
Why do you slot the
Skinny has
BME dual
boss
wield?
A, so it's higher. That's also not reflected on the stat sheet. And your damage done percentage, it is going to vary depending on your other stats, but generally speaking, damage done is a more powerful modifier than spell damage is going to be
Yeah.
in terms of like percentage to spell damage
like-
sort of thing.
Like max resources and spell damage are like, at least in PvE, like the later things you chase. Max resources being like probably the last thing you're gonna chase
Plus,
as a DPS.
flurry
compared to spell damage
is,
or modifiers.
on a mag DPS, no,
Which
you
come in
can't
the form
sustain
of
that.
debuffs or
There's no way
buffs
you
or
can sustain
whatever,
that.
I mean,
At
there's so
least
many.
not with what he has. Maybe with like a poison glyph or something like that. Maybe
This shit,
in the game. Yeah.
if you follow this shit and forget fundamentals, especially when it comes to 7 divine, 7 fucking divine, you fucking are dipshit. You don't do math.
The thing with 7 Divines is that Divines is still the strongest armor trait. Infused got buffed, yes, but Divines is still a lot stronger. Or not a
You
lot
don't do
stronger, but
math.
it is better
No,
than
you don't.
Infused.
You're going to replace a lightning staff with AoEs on it for a flame for a combustion passive.
Or
This is
talking about
good.
You
This,
don't do
it's just
math.
fundamental.
It's been a while.
He doesn't know how the game works.
No, you don't. You don't do math.
Yeah, this guy's okay.
He gets a D.
He gets a
D?
D. Yeah.
The only reason he didn't get the
Oh shit. Oh my god, dude! Can I start grading like other people's like builds now? At this, that's fucking golden. That's a great idea. That's a great idea, dude. Yo. Hold on, man. Oh fuck. Hold on. What the fuck? Let me look at some shit over here. I'm gonna add Skinny. Oh wait, sorry. Let me pull this back down. I give you a grade, a D, for your recent. I don't know. Dude. I'm just gonna say I give you D.
yeah.
That's
'cause he
bold.
adapted
Shit.
the medium.
That's a bold. That's a
And,
bold statement.
It's bold.
The
You got a D, dude.
Fighter's Guild. 2 abilities. He's a meta god.
Meta god.
So you
He's
should
a
listen to
meta
him.
god.
Who is SkinnyCheeks? Half skull threat. He's a
You should
meta
listen to
god.
him.
Description's in the link there.
I go for creativity.
All right, I think that's pretty much everything. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff wrong with.
Oh,
what
Skinny
he's
replied.
saying. A lot of stuff.
Skinny replied. Okay. Mag DK star review. Skinny replied on his video. Alright, thanks for taking the time to review my build. In Waking Flame, when this was made, this was indeed the top DPS output even with the overlapping minor slayer bonuses. That's how good the two sets were. Crazy, huh? What the fuck? We're gonna D. That's basket so cool. Oh my god. It is no longer the case in the Deadlands though. The title of the video says Deadlands update in the description. This is not a video for Deadlands specifically though, and a new video I did account for some new set options. Okay, so Mistick replied to this. You literally ran 2 trial sets, had a flame staff with AoEs in the bar, ran 3 bloodthirsty and ignored the law of diminishing return. Did I miss anything else? Put down the pipe for heaven's sake. What the? Put down the pipe for heaven's sake. We gotta make a lot of copy pastas out of this. Let's get this one thing straight, Metafake. I say you do. I have proved many wrong before you came. Just remember that. Let's keep on. Oh my god. Can't believe I got all that wrong. Can't wait for your DK build to come out so I can finally stop sucking. Sarcastic replies only paints a bigger target on you. By the way, you're welcome for the slim crawl and killed combo. You posers don't know real math. Oh shit.